Hey guys, glad you guys are tuned in tonight. Trying to get set up here. Okay. If you guys are going to be sticking around, I would love you guys to share the stream out. It's going to be a very interesting conversation with a very powerful man of God, a very unorthodox man of God, about witchery in the food and seductive spelling, and it's going to be fascinating. Lord have mercy, I'm going to have to shift this shit again. And we have visual. We have made a close encounter of the third kind.
Let me move it over. Yes, we are a bit here. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's good. A little dark.
And you know that we done lost all of our damn viewers, thankfully, to the goddamn
what happened?
late ass. Huh?
What happened to the viewers?
They were all coming in strong initially. They was waiting around for us to figure shit out. Motherfuckers got that ADHD clicked up in them. They had the jet.
Well.
Hello, Lynn. How are you guys? Hope you guys are well. These are Khozmiq's people.
These are my people.
All right.
Am I dark on your screen, or is
Let
it
me
just
know
my
when you? No, you dark.
Well, I mean, yeah. We didn't do a lot of.
I mean, you ain't super dark.
Okay.
You dark.
I mean, I'm a brother, so you know, there it is. All right.
White chocolate and dark chocolate. How about it?
Okay.
Well, hey, you guys. Welcome to another live. We are happy to see you guys. We took a bit of a break because it's the holidays. People had lots of things going on. You know, the mystics are always making animal sacrifices, so we need time to appease the gods. But we're back, and this topic, well, for those of you who don't know, Khozmiq NeWage is a prophet. There are other descriptive words I could use, but I'm just gonna leave prophet. He's a unique man of God, very multifaceted as a spiritual person, and he's been giving us a lot of insight and knowledge into mystical things concerning religion, and we're going to kind of change it up a little bit today. And I'm gonna let Khozmiq kind of guide this conversation because initially he hit me with this. So I'm gonna let you tell the people what we're talking about today, and we're just going to dialogue from there.
So hey, out to Jama and to Charmaine, all those people who are coming on, and I do. When we finish it, I do want to pray. Also, that was I was getting all this stuff together. I do want to do that, but
people need.
You know, I was relaxing and putting some work together for clients, and I was originally going to do this topic on my own on my Periscope channel, but I knew that we had already scheduled for a show this evening, so I said, well, let me contact you to see if we can correlate it. But I was just reminiscing and thinking about literally a week ago, I mentioned to you I had a client who had live things in them, and I and my apprentice were going to go and take care of that for them. And I did. He wasn't able to come with me, but I went, and we was there from like 9:30 to about 12:30, dealing with those things and getting them remedied and getting them taken care of. And by live things, I mean he was vomiting up insects. Okay, live insects. That type of stuff is what I'm talking about. So, and I was thinking about that because he actually had hit me up with what happened and saying, what we did was very, very effective. I actually went back over there, Christmas actually, workers never done, and delivered some other goods to him. And he went ahead with the prescription and was saying how he's feeling so much better, feeling cleaned out, the home feels better, etc. And it dawned on me that I've never done a broadcast directly addressing one of the easiest ways to be bewitched, which is through your food. Through your food.
That's very interesting because I don't think a lot of us correlate food and witchcraft or spell casting, but interestingly enough, we pray over food and put intent and blessings and intentionality into food. So who the hell came up with using food as a way to keep their man at home? Who is the first ancient mama to mix pancakes and witchcraft together?
Well, I'm going to tell you, since we're very candid on your show, the oldest love spell in the world relates to a woman who would take her menstrual flow and her menstrual blood and mix that either into food or into drink and feed it to the man she wants to tie to herself. And so if you are a young brother in the South, as I am, particularly if you're like in areas that are like a hotbed for this kind of thing, while Davyon's having a dysfunction over there, he ate something today. And they will tell you, don't eat everybody's cooking. And this particularly tell young men, at least here in Charleston, it's kind of a buzz phrase, don't eat the spaghetti, don't eat the red rice, don't drink everybody's red Kool-Aid. And it's a colloquialism, we laugh about it, but because, where I'm from, conjure's a part of life, But that's the oldest love spell in the world, and it has not decreased in its usage since time immemorial. Women have been catching men that way since, men been eating them out and eating their cooking.
Ooh, Jesus. Now let me tell you something, baby. It's got to be some strong Hennessy for you to get menstrual blood past me in a drink.
Well, you don't have to put a whole lot in there. But let me tell you how, black folk, when we get our Kool-Aid, we put a whole bunch of sugar in there and a little bit of dye, well, I'm just saying.
Because your grandma hiding some shit. That's why they got it overwhelmed like that. Wow,
how she kept that man so long.
Because I never thought about that saying, don't eat everybody's food. Like, we just think of ill-intended people, like just don't eat from everybody, germophobic, but it never even crossed my mind that there may be another explanation for that, and that it may be supernatural and come from the fact that this was a age-old practice of, I guess, influencing people through manipulating food supernaturally.
I mean, if we go all the way back, from the Bible, we can't get past 3 chapters of somebody eating something they shouldn't be eating.
Yeah.
And she gave it to him to eat. And he ate.
Wow, I never even thought about that. It's crazy. That just kind of blew my head right there. Okay, so unpack this. Like, well, first of all, is the practice is it more effective than casting spells in any other way? Like using food? Or is food just a means to an end?
Well, both, but it's a very effective means to an end because in many cases, so-called spells things in proxy. Okay, let's be honest, from the church world, right? We have the call in line for prayer, but it's nothing like having the hands actually laid on you, right? There's something about that physical contact that goes beyond the efficacy of doing something remotely or by proxy. So me feeding you something has a lot of connotations. Number one, it denotes, and this is very true, that people's guard, psychologists have shown this, your guard is down while you're eating.
You're vulnerable.
You're more vulnerable when you're eating, right? You're talking, you're dialoguing, you're laughing, you're expressing, whatever the case may be, right? So you are psychologically, all right, more vulnerable, okay? That means that your guards are not even up to retract or to recant something, okay? That's on one level. Number two is that, we trust a lot of people, it's kind of hard to know who you should trust, who you should not trust, that kind of a thing. But when you ingest a thing, it goes beyond just you touching it or you putting it on you or me shaking your hand, but literally I can work on you, or you can be worked on from the inside out. We talk about being filled with God, right? It's an internal thing, and from the inside, it begins to work its way outside. There's a saying that you are what you eat.
Yep, there is. There is. Wow. Also, eating, I would think, is also a receptive posture.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. It puts the body, like I said, it puts your mind kind of at ease. Your body is at ease doing a natural function. Everybody's got to eat, right? As a basic function, you have to eat, you have to drink to keep the body going. So it's so natural that, we do without even thinking about it, right? I'm hungry, I'm going to eat, and so on and so forth. Until. It's funny because there are people who will smile in your face, their family members, their neighbors, their co-workers, okay, that you think they mean you well, or somebody that means you ill, okay? And you may not know that they know how to do what we call in the South work or spiritual work, and they may not know, but they may know somebody who does know how to do spiritual work, okay? It's more than just the wheat brownies you got to be careful of. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to, we came out of Thanksgiving. We're in the holiday season where we're also we're a lot more vulnerable, right? Because everybody's in the holiday spirit. They want to be given to. Nobody wants to be offensive and say, "No, I've eaten already." Oh, take a plate. Fix one for your husband. That kind of a thing. We've got the office parties. Okay, and this chick been trying to get you fired since you got hired. All right, but now she's got cupcakes for everybody to eat. You see, somebody said, "How do I get somebody out of my house?" You may find something in this talk about how to get somebody out of your house.
Right.
So let me kind of give some things about this also. People that, and I'm going to talk to the brothers particularly, but also for women as well, the man's a dynamic cook, right? And he says on the first date, "Why don't you come over to my place and I'll to eat?" What will happen is you will find yourself thinking about a person that you haven't been thinking about. Did you eat from them is the question. Okay. Now let me just say this. Okay. All workings through food are not bad. Okay. All workings through food are not bad. Okay. For example, we add cinnamon to sweeten up a relationship. We add nutmeg for fast looking to bring in money. Things like that, right? We add coffee, to speed a thing up or to energize something. We add a little bit of rum to get things dynamic. So these are things that we add in work, period. Okay. But it's not so much what you do as it's how it is done and the intentionality behind it. So the person, it could be a trick for money, right? But it could also be something to what we say to tie you to somebody or to control you through the food. Okay, it can also be something even more destructive, and people be out to destroy you. They'll speak death into the food. So when people are fixing food, in the old, I come from some older folks where I learned my training from, and grandma would not cook if she didn't feel okay, right? She
Yeah.
wouldn't cook if she was upset at somebody in the family,
Yeah.
okay? Because that's about transfer into the food. You know, you cook for him, that'll no good, low down, two-faced, and you're cooking that stuff into the food, and it's being charged. You're speaking an incantation over the food, okay?
You know what's interesting
Mm-hmm.
is that there's been a few scientific studies on how mood affects food. And I it's kind of vague to me right now because I can't think of all the details, but this I think they said that people who are aggravated or stressed when they cook actually something happens within the food. I forgot what it is though. Like I know for one half the time it don't come out as well.
Right.
Just even on a taste level, on an aesthetic level, it's not attractive. It doesn't taste as well when you cook from a negative vibration. But it's also I want to say also that I don't want to fuck it up. So let me just shut the hell up. Continue.
Well, you're absolutely right, right? What you are thinking about, what you're feeling about is going into your food. So you know that, you go to grandma has the best cooking. You know why? Because grandma is one generation removed from you, which means she's always going to love you, right? So that's in the food. Grandma's cooking is always going to taste better than your mama cooking. The mom would be mad at you. Even when you're wrong, grandma still love you. Grandma said, come on, baby, come on to the house, stay a few days, okay? They talk about putting love in the food, right? So even when, if you want to kind of keep that man, so to say, when you making his coffee, put some love in that coffee, okay? That kind of a thing. And Dr. Isamu Emoto proved without a doubt that water takes on the vibration of words. It will cause it to crystallize in a certain way. If you speak well over water, you'll get this very pristine, crystalline when it's frozen. But if you speak ill over the water, if you speak very destructive things, negative things, it will freeze in very oblong and non-geometric shapes, right? Almost in poisonous shapes, okay? So there is a way that people can say certain things in the food and it'll trick the food, okay? And you'll eat that stuff. One way you wouldn't think about that man. That man was ugly from Tom, Bill, and Harry. But all of a sudden, you went over for that first date. And he cooked something, and it was good. Next thing you know, you're dreaming about that man. You thinking about that man, giving him all your money to the point that you begin to neglect yourself. It's all about them, right? You become tied to that person or that woman, all right? Here's another thing. People who want you to undo yourself, all right? They'll speak death in that pot. I'm going to do this in a minute. They'll speak destruction in that pot, and they'll speak things that make you harm yourself. And now you are a sane, reasonable human being. All of a sudden, you're contemplating suicide, taking your own life. Who have you been eating from?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You see, so we got to be very careful.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that because I know that there's a trap over in Africa when there is a unwanted tree. Rather than cutting it down manually, they scream profane, degrading, negative things at it, and over time this tree literally begins to chemically break down. Like the leaves start to die, the branches start to fall off of it. Like it literally loses its life. So as you were talking about the scientist who was able to prove that water crystallizes, or that hell, all things for that matter, move into a state of harmony based upon what we project onto a thing, especially if it's coming from a loving, positive vibration, or even a negative one, that it creates a disharmonic, what would you call it? Disharmonic,
well,
like...
what happens, just like when Jesus cursed the fig tree, it began to dry up from the roots, right? So in the same way, okay, people can, I'm just talking about just words. I'm talking about whatever you put in the food. I'm talking about just words they're saying, right? Things they're thinking about as they are fixing your food, okay? So you want to be very, it's a reason why we invoke and we pray over our food, right? Or grandma say, be careful who cooking you eat, that kind of a thing. Um,
Yeah.
it's one of the easiest ways for people to get live things in them, which I deal with. People feel crawling under their skin, restlessness. They can't sleep at night. They're always vomiting, right? They have diarrhea and for no explained reason. You've tried Pepto-Bismol, you've tried Kaopectate, you've gone to the doctor. There's nothing's wrong with you medically, okay? But something from the inside, they will eat you alive. They will destroy you from the inside out.
Out.
Okay,
Yeah.
there are certain things. If I can pull it up here, there is I can't think of it up top of my head. I'm gonna find out as we go on. Called uh gosh, I can't think of the second word, but it's Apollo. It's a stick. It's a wood. Okay, you grind it up, put it in a person's food, it'll cause them to become obese, right? And the wood actually means wood of the pig. It'll cause them to engorge themselves. And there's another wood that will do the exact opposite. Person won't be able to hold weight. You see. I'm just
So as you're trying to find that,
mhm.
I was thinking about a Deepak Chopra, one of my favorite philosophers, authors, spiritual leaders, and doctors. I always go back to that experiment he did with the cupcakes and how he was just trying to prove that your attitude impacts everything that you do, even including food and the way that food relates to you based upon your perception of food. So he gave cupcakes to obese women who really enjoyed food, who really enjoyed eating. They have a lovely, fabulous relationship to food. And he also gave the other half of the cupcakes to skinny women. These women were watching the calories, wanting to watch their weight, make sure they were staying in shape. So they had a much more cautious or worried attitude about food. And what he found was that the fat women who enjoyed eating and just enjoyed food, thought food was lovely and a blessing to them, only took in half of the calories of the cupcakes, while the skinny women who were cautious of their weight took in all of the calories of the cupcake, just simply based upon perception and attitude about a thing.
Absolutely.
So,
And
lovely.
there are, here's one, and I tell people this all the time. It's not called potluck just to be called potluck because somebody could be stirring your luck in their pot
Yeah.
and putting it on a boil, a raging boil. Um,
Mm.
there are things, let me just kind of go into a little bit deeper here from my experience. Um, there, there is medicine, I'm talking about spiritual medicines, potions, and so on, where you add your hair, your urine, your feces, the skill from the bottom of your feet, and your fingernails. All right, it is ground up, it is burned to an ash, ground up again. It is mixed with the muthia. It's an African medicine, all right, that they make, the Sangomas make, and also the spiritual practitioners. You can get this stuff, right, if you know who to ask. Well, don't ask me for this stuff now. I ain't got it for you. I'm telling you right now. I am not doing this for you, man. But you mix it together, and the practitioner, the spiritualists will tell you how to prepare it, either in the food or in the drink, whether it's in the coffee grounds or what have you, and you feed it to them little by little. All right. And as you begin to feed it to the person, you begin to gain control over that person's will. Their will begins to become less strong, it weakens their will. They become more amicable. They become more, they're trying to appease you more on what you want them to do. So, and by the same token, people have been caught this way for a very, very long time, all right, by what is being fed to them. Okay. The and it's called, occult poisoning. It's not necessarily, we're not putting formaldehyde in the food, but it is spiritually, all right, by poisoning you by supernatural means. Like I said, I have seen, okay, firsthand people vomit up live insects. Okay, I have an apprentice of mine that's out in Sumter in South Carolina who has a jar on his shelf of a black snake that came out of a woman doing deliverance for her. So it is a very, very real. Okay, and you know that may be an extreme case because that kind of work is not very I don't want to say it's outdated, but the people who know how to do that kind of work are normally a lot older, or they learn from somebody very, very old. You don't really see that kind of work very often unless you're in very southern areas or when there's a very strong older line of tradition. But what you will find are people being caught through the food. By that I mean either controlled or there may be love work done or even destruction through the food that they're eating. And you asked about how to get in a person's drink, you know. I mean, the same way, you know, urine is in the same way to control a person. You add your urine to control a person, right? When dogs want to lay claim to a territory, what they piss on a tree. All right. So even in my spiritual traditions, all right, if you found a mess in your yard that somebody left for you to walk over or walk in or whatever the case may be, one of the first things you do is piss on it so that you exert your authority over what they've done, right? That you've not moved me from my castle. So in the same way, people do the exact same thing. You can take an herb or whatever the case may be and make a tincture out of it where you distill it with an alcohol and then add that to a Hennessy. You see, if I soak the herbs in Hennessy and feed it to you, you won't know the difference. You see, so there is there's precedence for that.
Yeah. So going a little left, because as you were talking, this came to my mind, like the idea of praying over animals we're going to use as food. I know that some people believe in killing animals in a dignified way if you are going to use them for nutrition. And I'm still trying to reconcile killing an animal. I mean, I understand it, but does it just make sense, period? Like, if you want to kill a thing, and I know that because you're taking it in, it probably does make sense to bless it, to love it, to anoint it, to do all of that. But if you're killing a thing, still.
And even think about it on this level. We talk about you are what you eat, right? These animals, most of what we're eating, let's put it like that, these animals that are being eaten, they are living in horrendously cruel and inhumane conditions. It would blow some of you on here could not stomach the video footage of how your food is treated before it gets on your plate. Okay. So if that torture, if that anguish, if that fear, if that sadness, if that pain, if an animal is dying in that, all right, that same stuff, both genetically and hormonally, is being released into their body. From the beginning, it now becomes toxic. So you are eating their fear, you're eating their pain, you're eating their anguish, you're eating their torture, okay? And you're saying a 1, 2, 3, you know, my ABC prayer. What I'm talking about is just from a nutritional perspective, okay? You're asking to remove poison from poison.
Right.
This is that most people do not consider when they sit down to eat. And it's the same type of daftness at the dinner table that make the same people an easy mark for somebody to pull them or trick them in their food. Because most of us don't even know where our food comes from, let alone what kitchen it came from, but what condition it came from and what they're being fed. Okay, the animals pumped full of hormones. You know, I'm not going to get into all that, but yes, I can get a little passionate about that particular topic. But all of those things on just a basic natural level go into what you're eating and putting in your body.
So is this also, along with the idea of blessing our food, allows food to treat our bodies better, but is this also why we pray over food to possibly counteract somebody else's spell casting or possible works over our food? So you pray just in case somebody has bewitched your food.
Well, here's the funny thing. Go ahead.
Now, if somebody has bewitched your food and you've prayed over the food that has been bewitched, what is the determining factor in terms of who wins that battle?
Well, there's a couple of things, and most people are losing that battle.
I would imagine.
If most people won that battle, I'd be out of a job. Okay, I wouldn't be in business because people wouldn't have need to come to me. But let me just say this: originally, all right, we get, as you know, Christians, of course, have a heritage in Judaism. All right, most of 95 of our traditions are Judaic in origin. Okay, including the blessing of the food. All right. Well, Judaically, all right, they never so-called bless the food. All right. The blessing of the food is not really a blessing of the food itself, like the peas and the rice or whatever. It was a blessing of God. All right. He was giving thanks to God for bringing forth the food that we may eat. Okay. And God said, and I put this in here, in Exodus 23 and 25, that if you obey me and keep my commandments, then I will bless your food and your drink, and I will not bring upon you the sicknesses, the infirmities, and the diseases, and the plague that the Egyptians had in their food and in their drink. So Moses, who sets the standard for the blessing of the food per se, for the great meal of Passover, all right, it was really a blessing of God, an honoring of God, and thanking God for bringing forth the food, all right, for a good harvest, all right, that we can eat and we can, we can live and sustain ourselves.
So now, for those who don't necessarily identify with Christianity, since you are referring to a Christianized instruction about how to overcome enchantment within food, is there a more general thing that just spiritual?
I got my notes right here. I was waiting for us to get to this part. Okay.
So yeah,
we're gonna set y'all free tonight. Okay. First of all, many of you may have heard that song that said you put the lime in the coconut and the coke in the. That is actually. So you have to understand this is something in music. Not just eating a spell, but hearing a spell. But he's giving you a remedy for being bewitched in your belly. Okay. What you can do is take coconut milk, and they call it coconut water. I recommend actually getting an actual fresh coconut, okay, cracking it open or poking holes in it, draining it out, all right, and putting a whole lime, squeezing the juice of a whole lime, okay, into that coconut, all right. What you're also going to add to this is you're going to get Epsom salt, all right. Now, Epsom salt, most people don't know this, is a purgative, okay. Most people are familiar with Epsom salt with their bodies when they have aches and their back hurts, and you put Epsom salt in there, and it soothes the body, okay. But it also removes toxins from the skin, okay, pulls out through the pores. But it also is magnesium sulfate. It also be ingested, all right? Now, what you want to do is, don't come trying to sue me or Davyon, is follow the instructions on the side of the box. You don't tell you if you're going to ingest it, what the dosage is going to be. Normally, it's going to be about a tablespoon, all right? So you're going to have your coconut water. You're going to have your lime juice, all right? And you're going to have a tablespoon normally of Epsom salt. Mix that together and ingest that. Now, be home, because it's a purgative, all right? Make sure you have a lot of, tissue ready, okay? It's going to cleanse you out, Okay. And you want to follow that up with water. Okay. Plenty of water, because Epsom salt, like I said, is a purchase substance. It'll dry you out, right? It's going to pull those stuff out of you and out through you. Now, what do you do if you know that happens after the fact? There's something else you can do, something called what we call Four Thieves vinegar. Now, I make a specialty of Four Thieves vinegar that I sell here for clients that have that particular situation going on. I sell remedies for that particular issue, which is one thing I gave to my client last week. All right, you can go online and find the recipe of Four Thieves vinegar. If you're not sure about it, and get it from me, because I add some other stuff into it. I call mine Seven Thieves vinegar. But just to kind of give a quick history of this, and this Four Thieves vinegar, you want to have this in your house, period. Whether you've got kids, whether you know, whatever, especially around winter time. Normally, I make it during the summer, okay, where I can get all the ingredients fresh and allow it to sit. Because the longer it sits, the more powerful it is. But the history behind Four Thieves vinegar is supposedly during the bubonic plague in Europe, during the Black Plague, and were dropping like flies. It was so dangerous and so contagious, people were not even going to cities to remove the dead bodies. You couldn't even bring the coroner in there. And so they noticed that when they did go in, they couldn't find any necklaces, no rings, no coins, no purses. All the valuables of the people dead would be gone. And they wonder, how did this happen? So they said, well, maybe some thief who's stupid enough to steal from the dead, he caught the plague and he'll die. But it happened weeks on end, months on end. Finally, they caught the thieves. And you know, the penalty for theft is death. They were going to behead them by the guillotine. But they made them a deal that said, if you show us how it is that you remain sterile, we will lessen your sentence. I mean, we still gonna kill you. We're just gonna hang you. We're not gonna cut your heads off. And what came to be was
what a compromise.
Right. What came to be was that one of the thieves was actually an apothecarist. He was a perfumer, and he gave them the solution that became known as Four Thieves vinegar. So you can also take that. Now, there are something else you can do. You can't do anything else. Have, you know, a little bit of Four Thieves vinegar with you. Y'all know the little shot bottles we get from the, you know, from the liquor store. You know, we put in the purse.
They all know. They all know.
Exactly. You want to have, you know, some of that. You know, you want to have a bottle of Four Thieves vinegar that size. You know, put it in your purse. You know, keep it in there. And if you have to eat somebody's food, okay, you know, what do you do beforehand? You say, well, I can't avoid it. It's grandmama. We all know grandmama or auntie nasty, whatever the case may be. Have a little Four Thieves vinegar. Go into the bathroom, okay? Take a spoonful of that. Now, I recommend that you also add a little bit of red pepper in that as well, all right? Take a spoonful of that, all right? Go on and eat. And as soon as you finish eating, go back into the bathroom and take another spoonful, all right? And follow it down with some water. That'll hold you until you can actually get home and actually do a full purging. Now, in Haiti, all right, in voodoo, all right, they have something called a god, all right? Not God as in G-O-D, all right, but G-U-A-R-D-E, all right, which means a guard. Is actually what it is in the Haitian dialect. It means a guard. And this happens where it'll either be, I won't get too deep into this, but there's actually materials, herbs, and compounds that they actually place in your skin. They make a little slit, all right, and place it in your skin, or they will place it into your bloodstream, all right? It's a spiritual guard. It works as a protective agent, an entity that guards you. What'll happen is, you know, when you go to eat something, it'll alert you. Nope, that's fixed. Don't eat that, all right? Don't drink that. That's fixed. Or some people have very aggressive guards. This is why you gotta stay prayed up. It's happened to me a lot of times. People will bring me food, and my spirits will knock it over, right? Or they'll trip. all right? Or my fork will keep falling out, my food keep falling out of my mouth. That's a sign to me right there. Stop. Cease and desist immediately. The food is fixed. Okay. Now, in case you can't come see me or another spiritualist, or go ahead and get that done, what you can do is get a little mojo bag, or just, it's something you can get, a little baggie, like the little jewelry bags, all right, and add coconut shavings, lime shavings, coconut hair off the husk, okay, along with red pepper, all right, and wear it around your neck like a necklace. All right, you can do it so nobody knows it's there. Put it in your bra, what have you, but around your chest area where you're going to be eating things. All right, and it will kind of alert you. You'll get it feeling warm. It'll alert you if you pray over well, or you can of course get a spiritualist to make one for you in the Mojo style. But there are ways to move that stuff. Another thing you can do is, again, if you've already ingested the thing, you feel that you've been fixed or caught through the food, you can go to a place like Whole Foods, or what do they call it? What's the name of the place? GMC, I think is what I'm thinking. GMC, like the Whole Food or whatever, and ask them for what's called activated charcoal. All right, activated charcoal. You can get them in the little capsules. All right. And you take that, what charcoal does, of course, you pray over this stuff now, all right? It will draw to itself, all right, that mess, all right, and pull it out of your system, all right? Almost like a magnet, all right? And it'll take that stuff and it'll move it out of your system, okay? Now, I recommend that you combine that with spiritual baths. Okay, of course you can, lime juice, coconut milk, red pepper in your bath, but you need to go see a spiritualist. If you've done this about 3 times or so and haven't gotten any kind of remedy, or you're not quite sure if you have been fixed through your food, you need to go see a spiritualist and have them do a diagnostic or reading, whatever the case may be, to see if in fact you've been fixed to your food, and if so, they can provide you remedy for that condition. Because some things y'all been eating from this person more than one time. Some of y'all live with these people, or they're your boo, or it's grandma, all right? And charcoal, coconut water, and vinegar is not going to do in the long run. You need to go see somebody. So if you think that you've been under chronic fixing, okay, happening again and again and again, as soon as you get clean, it happens again, you need to go see somebody, seriously. And if you don't know anybody to go see, find me. I'll help you.
Sounds like you got to stay prayed up all the time, every day, walk around in the full armor of God.
Absolutely. That's why Paul said to put on the full armor. I do not leave. When I wake up in the morning, I'm putting on my spiritual armor. Okay. Not only as an individual, also as a spiritualist. Okay. Because I'm not.
So describe what that is in detail. Because we hear pray, put on the armor, but I don't think people can conceptualize exactly like putting on the.
My way is different because y'all know I'm both a spiritualist and a prophet. So I've got all kinds of stuff I'm putting together, But,
okay, so keep it simple for the general folk, like how they can realize
well,
that.
First of all, do you have time of meditation when you get up? Let's just start there. Or from the minute you hit the floor, you hit it running. Okay? Have you taken a moment to just say, thank you, God? Can we start there? Okay? Have you spoken about your day? Have you gone over your day? Have you blessed your day?
Your affirmations.
Affirmations, right? Decrees, okay? However your system analyzes, words as mantras, what have you, okay? Do you do that, all right? Even when you are, I'll tell you a very easy way. When you're in the shower, pray when you're in the shower. all right? As you're washing your body, you're in the motion, all right, of putting on a type of layer, whether it's soap and water. You see what I'm saying? I'm putting on, I see my soap and my water as battle regiments, as battlement. Okay? My hair is my hair, things of that nature. That's what you can do just in your shower. All right. So it doesn't have to be anything, overly complicated. But for one thing, just stopping for a moment, okay? Because what that does is it resets your mind to be now conscious and in the moment. So if you do encounter something, your guard is now up. You're more aware. Your perception is higher, right? You can perceive if there's something in the food or not, right? Or you'll be more in tune to hear the Spirit of God. You'll be more in tune to hear your intuition. It may say, take a different route to work, right? Or take the back way to the job, because there might be a trick laid in your way, right? Don't take the elevators, take the stairs. Better for your health too, all right? But if you're just in a rush and you're thinking about the quickest way, the quickest distance between 2 points, you and your enemy thought the same thing. You see, hey, the Spirit may say to you, listen, I know you were going to buy something, or you were going to go to the vending machine, or you were going to wait for them to cater at the job. Spirit said, no, fix your own lunch. But if you're in a rush to get out the door, you're putting on stuff as you get into the car, you don't have time, okay, to withdraw and to become centered and balance yourself, balance your spiritual hearing. Kind of just silence sometimes when you wake up. Some of us got, Nicki Minaj blazing when we wake up in the morning. Just silence for a moment. Okay, start there. Now me, because not only is it for myself, but also because I have a God family that I cover, all right? I have apprentices and spiritual sons and daughters that I cover. Also have clients that I take. I'm working on their cases as well. So I'm going to the nitty and the gritty with them. I'm leaving their houses doing exorcism and cleansings, that kind of a thing. So I have to be really, fortified in my defenses. All right. So protection work, strong cleansings, spiritual baths. I'm telling you, that alone, all right. Pick y'all up some stuff. Florida water cologne. I heard that Walmart said these things nowadays. It's like $3. That blew my mind. Okay. Somebody has it in your area. All right. And just add that to your bath water, literally. Okay. Some of you have trees and, flowers and so on. Some of you've got magnolias or lilies and stuff, white flowers. Those are all good for cleansing. Add that to your bath water. If nothing else, add salt, whether it's just table salt. Okay. That you are the salt of the world. So it's a cleansing and a preserving agent. It's nitrate. All right. And add that to your bath.
Spiritual baths.
That's a
I'm
whole
taking one
broadcast by itself. I got a list of it.
So can we go over what are some positive things we can do with magic and food? Oh. Like, let's say, for instance, you are in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to use food as a way to keep things sweet and lovely, like, what are some of the ways in which we can engage our food in that way when it comes to our partner?
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you the most popular type of work you can do with your partner is if you guys do it together. That is very powerful stuff. I'm going to tell you something. If people... I wish I was the one counseling some couples before they came to me. Like when they were dating before they got married. Because a lot of times they call me and people like me in crisis. When they done left. They were ready to sign the divorce papers, and they're calling me to kind of bring everything back in alignment. All right. Here's something simple you can do. And I'll get to food in a second, but ladies, you gotta take your shoes off. Okay. Which way are they pointing? Are they pointing away from the bed? or towards the bed. It's a sign. Have his shoes.
Lord, I'm about to tell you right now, you finna make a lot of hoes paranoid as hell. That nigga shoes turned in 2 different directions. What do you mean, Doc?
Well, what I'm saying is, what you do is you turn his shoes towards the bed to keep him coming back home. Or if your house is set up that we don't walk around the house with shoes, we take shoes out the door, is it facing out the door or inside the house? Okay, you don't want his motivation to be to leave home. It's to be waiting to come home. Let home be his castle. Okay, now for food. The sugar. Okay, something you can do. This is an old time remedy. All right, a couple of things. You know, you used to have the sugar box or the sacks of sugar. Why don't you, let's say, for example, you know, y'all are still dating or whatever the case may be, or maybe y'all living together, whatever the case may be, and y'all used to write each other letters, right? Back and forth. Right? I'm speaking, wink, wink, right? Put the letters in the sugar. Eat from the sugar. Why? Sugar is sweetening. It keeps the relationship sweet. Okay? You guys can do what they call the honey pot or the sweetening pot. All right? If she's darker skin, use dark brown sugar. If she's lighter skin, use light brown sugar. If she pale as my wall, use white sugar. Okay? But what you guys do is you pray over that. Maybe you make it a weekly thing, okay, to reaffirm your vows to each other, whatever the case may be. And you feed each other. You cook from that sugar. You put that in the food. You put that in the coffee. You see, things like that. All right?
I'm very tickled by this because a lot of ladies are probably saying the magic behind a great love life is magic.
Well, you know what our friend Jamal said. He said, behind every successful man is good root work. It's good conscience.
Good.
But you know, that's for your love life. You know, cinnamon, nutmeg, all right, allspice. These are all good for money. All right. I tell people all the time, you want to give people ask you for money powder or something. Go to your local grocery store and pick up what they call pumpkin spice. It's going to have cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, clove already ground up together. All of those are money drawing and prosperity increasing herbs. And add that into your food. You know, just like the lady said earlier, also something very simple. Cook with love. Yeah. Cook with love. Cook together.
So Petro had brought up sprouts. Like, what is the spiritual connotation of sprouts?
Sprouts as in
a vegetable sprouts.
Like Brussels sprouts?
He said that earlier on in the conversation. I don't know like where we were, but he had brought up sprouts. I think when he was bringing up GNC
and that may be a name of a shop he's talking about.
Oh, Petro, if you're still there, let us know what you meant by sprout. Yes, every time and when you're cooking, always say gifting things. Yes. Speaking well and love and positivity over food helps to keep the children safe, the family together, folk uplifted and protected.
Right, pumpkin spice is a ready mix, right? Put that in, you know, you can put sugar in his shoe, put sugar in your shoe, you know, put sugar between the mattress, okay? And it's because sugar is sweetening, right? Also, you know, the old folk, you wonder why grandma always had lifesavers candy. Why? Because lifesaver, the mint, we use it in work. Oh, it's probably, okay, help shop, okay. Lifesavers, we add that in marriage work. There are some mojo bags I make and I put lifesavers candy in there. Lifesavers, you want it to be long lasting for life. You see, things like that. What you guys can do consensually, of course. All right. People out there going to do it unconsensually, and then after a while, y'all come crying to me, and something backfired on you. But your underwear. All right. You know, especially when you guys make that vow for monogamy, right? Tie your underwear together and put it between the mattress of the bed.
Now, do you need to tie the underwear together and take a very aggressive piss on them too?
If it's that kind of situation, then yeah. I know.
I'm gonna need that extra insurance.
Huh?
I'm gonna need that extra insurance plan.
Right. I know works where they put it in a potted plant, right, and water it with their urine. That's the way to do that. Potted plants are a very interesting thing to have around the house, just for sprinklers, regardless. I had something else I was going to say.
See, my husband got too much OCD for that. I'd be keeping sugar underneath the mattress. He'd be done vacuum my sugar up underneath the damn mattress and sweep up all my sprouts and concoctions and shit.
Well, we'll see. I don't have that.
I would never be able to get away with that.
Well, that's what I say. If it's consensual, then you have the issue. But what you can do is, if you guys have pictures, right? Either of you two together or you two separately, then you can take their picture, your picture, place them facing each other, all right, in a picture frame, and then also add something like an angel or a cross, a picture of the cross, okay, over it, and it kind of hides your relationship behind the cross, as it were, right? And it keeps you guys together. Or it can be something like a big bird with wings, kind of keeping you guys protected from social media, so like so you did earlier, who's in your DM, that kind of a thing, keeping it out of the limelight, so to speak. Also, somebody said about baths.
Yeah.
If you guys bathe together.
Bath bomb. What's a bath bomb?
Bath bomb are those things you put in the bath. It's like baking soda base. You drop it in, it fizzles up and fizzles out. Those are bath bombs. You can have bath bombs as well, but if you guys bathe together or shower together, that's awesome, right? In which case you can add different things. Just kind of going into our segment on sneaky tricks, but if one of the things that's done to influence a person is to add whatever. I'm not going to give any details out, but add whatever to their shampoo. Okay. For dual reasons. Number one is hitting their head, right? You want to influence their thinking, but also they are applying it themselves, you see. And the same way with putting it in the soap, right? Especially for money drawing stuff. Put it in your soap, right? So as you're washing your hand, you're drawing money to your hands. When you are doing the linen, right, from the bedroom, all right, the bed linen, or when you're doing each other's laundry, all right, then putting a little bit of your perfume or your cologne in the laundry, right? So they have your scent on them, kind of a thing, or whatever spiritual potions you may pick up from me. You put that into the laundry as well, things like that. But bathing is very powerful, especially when it's together. Add that to the bath water. Add roses to the bath water. Add a little bit of honey to the bath water. That's a good one.
All the sweet and sugary shit.
Now I'm just giving y'all.
So
I haven't got to the deep stuff yet, but yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of the deep stuff, once your marriage hits crisis level, what are some of the best formulas to put into play or to use when you're really hitting that threshold?
Hey, there goes my gatekeeper, my Western gatekeeper. Good to see you, John. If your relationship is hitting crisis, crisis means different things for different people. And one thing you'll find as you begin to get to, like I said, the heavy hitting stuff, it's never a cure-all for everybody, right? I can't give one thing that'll hit everything. When it hits crisis, you need to see a specialist. You need to come in to get a diagnostic, okay? Because many times there is not a ready-made recipe for that kind of level stuff, all right? We have to go to the altar. We have to go in prayer. We have to consult the spirits about what can be done to move this in a particular situation. Let's say, I'll give you something. Let's say, and I've used this before, ladies, let's say he's moved out. He didn't got on his, he said, Doc, I don't have no underwear of his. I ain't got no t-shirt. I can see no sock. He's gone. It's sterilized the whole house. Half of y'all are some stalking so-and-so. Y'all know y'all done stalked him on Facebook. Y'all got him on Instagram. Y'all down his DM on Twitter. Y'all done made a whole fake profiles. Talking to you, ma'am. Talking to you. Yeah, I see you over there. Leave that man alone, but you still want him back, and you know where he live at now. Well, he always go. He a mama's boy. He don't went to his mama's house. Well, some of you, he'll still give you play. If you understand what I'm getting at, he'll still call you over at 2 o'clock in the morning, but after 4 o'clock, y'all don't see each other anymore. That kind of a thing. What you can pick up is that's right. See, might take one of my students, y'all. See, y'all can see she come from good Lord. She come from good stuff. She keep her marriage and stuff together in a basket. This is a very good thing to do. But let's say y'all at that extreme level. Get catnip. Catnip is an herb that is like crack for cats. If you ever put catnip by a cat, I mean, literally, they literally go like they have just strung it on drugs. Like, it's ridiculous. They're on LSD. But what you can do is you go by his place, all right, and especially if he invites you over to the bed, even better. Have a little catnip, leave a little pinch, all right, in his bed. And okay, as you're leaving or while you're in the bed, just a little pinch, all right. As you're coming out, leave him by his room door, all right. Leave a little pinch at the actual door of the house, all right. Before you get in your car, leave a little pinch there. And then every stop sign or red light you get on the way back home, drop a little catnip. It makes a trail. And just like cats, he'll come back to the kitty cat in about 3 weeks. You watch it, I'm telling you. It's worked like a charm.
Well, speaking of kitty cat and speaking of hot dogs, can you bewitch your own kitty cat and bewitch your own hot dog?
Oh, absolutely. Don't let me talk about,
So what would that look like for someone to bewitch their private?
Now, let me just put a disclaimer out there. Every time. I solemnly swear, okay, that I do not bewitch my members, all right? I tell you that right now. It's just good, okay? I'm just saying that I don't. People ask it, no, there's no working. It's just the good Lord. But
sure,
right. There are some things, all right, and I'm gonna give you some things because a lot of my clients work trade. By that I mean, they're women of the night, right? They're strippers. They go to clubs or what have you, or they're prostitutes. Their own back page and whatever the case may be. And so they're coming to me for how they can get, a client to stay consistent, all right? Or how to catch them and make them go, wow, all that kind of a thing if you're a woman. And I release myself from all legalities of this. But an old time remedy is adding a little bit of mace, okay? A little bit of mace, so a pinch of mace, all right? Maybe a few pinches, depending on where you are. In an enema for the ladies, all right, or a dish for the ladies, okay, and flush yourself with that, all right. So when the man enters in, it'll catch him, all right. Now the old women call that tricking your pussy. That's what they call it. They call it tricking your pussy. Now if you are a brother, all right, and you want to give just the best you've ever had, she is gonna be locked in. Now this I learned recently from our older brother in Conjure. And Mike, this is what I'm talking about. My older brother in Conjure. Just a background story. He had a lady who has been stuck on him for 3 years. He's been broke up with her. I mean, but now let me just say this. This is if you want somebody obsessive. Now they bring on your door. Don't come calling to me. Okay, I'm gonna charge you extra to get them off of you. Okay. But what you can do, all you need is a brother's banana. Just think about it. Some stuff in Conjure is kind of simple. Banana, what's it look like? Okay. Coffee, all right, and the herb called Damiana. All right. Now, Damiana is a sex herb. All right. It is so much a sex herb that the scientific name for Damiana includes the word aphrodisiac. I should tell you something. Okay, they're very strong.
Yeah.
What you're going to do is you're going to get a banana, an old banana that's overripe, like the kind you would use for banana pudding. All right. You're going to take that, some brewed coffee. Now I heard that you would get the ground coffee, but I say brew the coffee. All right. You're going to mash up that banana. All right. Add Damiana, ground Damiana to that. All right. Add a little bit of coffee. All right. Banana for obvious, the erect, right? It looks like an erect penis. Okay. Damiana, okay, because it stirs the libido. All right. Coffee, because what? Coffee gives you energy, gives you drive, it keeps you up. It's a type of caffeine. Okay. Make a paste out of that. All right. And apply that to your member. All right. Let it sit for 7 minutes. All right. No more, no less minutes. And then go take a shower. Right. Get yourself freshened up before you go over, before she comes over. And I'm telling you, you'll see a difference. Y'all will be in my inbox later saying thank you, Doc. Now this is the stuff I can give out on the air. Now I got other stuff you got to come to me for,
Of course, you can't pull out all of the arsenal.
No.
You just lay down all the.
How this became a conjure? How this became a hoodoo help desk?
I mean, so for men too, would love rubbing for the males, rubbing love oils over your penis.
Absolutely.
And all
Absolutely. Spiritual, like I said, spiritual baths. Okay. The same way, even as there are soaps that can be made. All right. Even as you are rubbing yourself down and so on. Right. There are certain perfumes that I make, right, that just the whiff of them will catch her. Okay. Now if you're trying to catch a woman, and this again is one thing I'm learning recently. I'm giving some of my newer tricks, because I'm gonna send this video to my older brother. So he's gonna love this stuff. Brother, if you're trying to catch a woman, or well, let me just say either gender. Okay, I don't want to be, people say he's a bigot, homophobic. Right. That's not the case. But what you can do is get a handkerchief. All right, your handkerchief. All right, and what you want to do is a couple of things. One, you want to take your handkerchief, you want to rub it all over your body. All right, particularly over your feet. All right. Feet are symbolic of domination and control. We walk on a thing we control. All right. Particularly on your feet. You also want to add a few drops of your urine. Just a few drops. I recommend your first morning urine. Brothers, y'all know this is the strongest urine y'all going to have all day. All right. They've been sitting for a little bit. All right. A few drops of that to the handkerchief. After which, one of those lonely nights, you're not getting the playbook is blank. You're pleasuring yourself, okay, come on to the handkerchief. Wipe yourself with a handkerchief, all right? Fold that up, those people they put in their back pocket. Now, when you see somebody that you want to catch them, as we call it in Conjure, all right, all you have to do is just kind of rub your finger on the handkerchief. It's already been dried now, okay, it's anyone's handkerchief, and then, shake their hand or grab them by the shoulder, whatever the case may be, and you'll catch them.
Whipping ass.
Huh?
You touch me with that cum rag, I'm whipping your ass.
Well, see, it's discreet. See, you wouldn't know that, right? Because all you're seeing is me say, "Hey man, how you doing?" Hey, what's going on? I ain't seen you in a minute.
In that case.
But yeah, and I'm gonna give you one better. When you do make contact, whether it's you're grabbing their shoulder, you're dapping them up, or you're shaking their hand. Particularly if you're shaking the hand. Grip it, right? Give a firm grip and immediately catch their eyes. Give them eye contact, all right? And you can think a thought that say, sleep with me. You just think that thought and just project it through your eyes, something like that. You just want to catch their eyes and hold their gaze as long as possible, all right? But yeah, that's the way you can do that very easily. Ladies, of course, you guys know the oldest love spell in the world, which I gave earlier. I won't go back over that one. So what you can, but like I said, I've got hundreds of these kind of works, and I said everything does not work for everybody. So you want to go to a specialist, okay, to get a diagnostic. All right, your doctor, your medical doctor, went through at least 12 years of practice, right?
Yeah.
And he still puts you through tests when you come to see him. All right. He wants to see, well, what medicine do I have that will work for you, your body chemistry? Okay. It's never a one fix all things. Okay. Because if you are single and flirtatious versus if you're dating versus if you're married, there's certain works that are different depending on the situation.
Yes. Well, I was going to ask you, speaking of being situational, I was going to ask you, does root work, spell work have to do with, does it work just because of what the situation is, or does magic affect men and women differently?
It can.
Like a man keeping a woman home versus a woman keeping a man home through magical means. Could you still use the same formula, either gender, or do you have to specify to the gender?
You would, so depending on the work, most works, especially if you want to really get some heavy stuff, it's going to get specific. There are some works that, this is not to offend anybody, but if you are a gay man, my work for you is going to be a little bit different. Also depending upon what your position is as a gay man. Are you the projective or the receptive partner, or a lesbian couple, okay? Or, even if you're interracial, like I said earlier, if they're dark skinned, use what? Dark brown sugar. If they're lighter skinned, lighter brown sugar. So there are some specificity in the work to make it a little bit more effective. Okay. Yeah. So there are some things that are different.
Got it. That's interesting.
Yeah. Like for example, heterosexual couples will see the effect of roses in work be very, very effective, right? But a homosexual couple may find that lavender works better than roses does. You see, so it's different. That's why you want to. Well, let me. There are a couple of different things here. That I'm actually preparing to do an article about the whole intention versus ingredients thing. Because I get asked a lot. And people who are in the New Age community, they don't really understand their history of my practice. But to your question immediately. The more connected, all right, your faith is a component. But let me say this, okay? People out there say, oh, well, if I don't believe in it, don't work. We call these kind of people in Conjure a target, okay? My folks would say, baby, and I quote my elder, she said, baby, the root gonna do what the root gonna do, end quote. Just like poison. All right, you can say I don't believe in an 18-wheeler. Ain't no such a thing as you walk out in that street. Okay, your butt gonna be grass, whether you believe in it or not. All right, because it's objective. All right, if I poison you, well, you can sit right there and say I don't believe in formaldehyde. That thing ain't got no power, and you will sit right there and it will eat you alive. All right, because that's what's designed to do. Okay, so. Of course, you will see faster results or more dramatic results depending on the level of your faith involved into it. Okay? But like I said, my client that came for that was her first time coming to see anything that I had done. She came because she had tried everything else that she knew how to do. She didn't have a deep belief per se. She didn't have a list of testimonies about this kind of stuff. She said, I'm just hoping it's going to work. Right? One of the things that comes from that also is releasing it, right? But that goes when you start doing rituals and so on. But when you lay a thing down and you're consistent with it, release it. It's all, see it is already done. So no, if you guys are hiring a spiritual worker, please follow their instructions. I implore you, before you call us frauds and ripoffs, did you do what they said do? Is the first question.
Yeah. Think of your spiritual worker the same way you would think of any other service provider. When the cable man comes to install your cable, you don't help him, and you don't get in the way, and you don't come behind the TV and be in his toolbox with him. You let him do what he came to do. So think of your spiritual worker as your cable man.
Let root doctor like your health doctor. We acted the same thing. We're gonna do a diagnostic. We're gonna run tests. We do consultations. We're gonna prescribe you medicine. We're gonna say call us back in 2 weeks. You know, so it's the exact same. The modern day doctor was first a root doctor back in the day.
Yeah, that's where it was.
That's where it was.
Absolutely.
How we went from occult poison to talk.
I told you.
This should be a paid show. I didn't give away so much goodies.
It gets away from you. I mean, do you want to go a little longer, or?
Yeah, I you know, it is. I've already dedicated this time. You know, this is.
Well, it's 10:40. So how about we just go to 11 o'clock? So to give us another 20.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we could do that. So we are doing the hoodoo help desk going on here.
Right. So what else did you want to touch on as it relates to root work, magic, witchcraft, and food? Have you fully unpacked that for us?
There was so much to this. Because when we think about you know, eating and where we're eating at, you know, one of my mentors, people have dropped dead because of a spell. Yes, magic will get you killed. Okay, both physically and otherwise. Words have that kind of power. People can get you to that extent. Now, people come to me and they say, "Oh, doc, I'm cursed." My motto is, baby, you're not cursed, your butt is crazy. Half of y'all are not cursed. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And they'll say, oh, you know, I've been having bad luck. Bad luck is not a curse. Okay. Some stuff you just bad with money. You just on budget well.
It's just a side effects of misalignment.
Yes. You know, you're not cursed. When you tell me that every day you wake up and you know, you're almost getting hit by 18-wheeler, then maybe then we can look at something. Okay, if your life is a living portrayal of Final Destination, then you're probably not cursed. A curse is meant to kill you. You may be jinxed,
right?
Maybe hex and vexed, you know, maybe witchcraft and bitchcraft, but baby, you ain't cursed. You got the heebie-jeebies, but you ain't cursed.
So we've traveled astrally all through this topic tonight as well. We went from food and conjure and witchery in the kitchen to reincarnation to what else we was talking about? We done talked about
what have we talked about, man? I came in talking about food.
Right. So before we close out this show, do you have anything else you want to unpack regarding the initial topic about food and conjure? I mean, is there any core things you want to say about that?
I will hit some little points right quick on the way out of this. You know, even if you don't get a god as it is in voodoo, okay, be prayed up, and
yes,
you'll notice that people can feed you certain things, right? Your spirits will be empowered to work on your behalf. Just when they're about to invite you to dinner, oh, I can't, you know, I just got a call that, you know, I've got to be at the job. Or, oh, man, why didn't you tell me a day ahead anytime, I would have been there. You just can't never get to their dinner table. All right? Don't put against the grain, baby. Take that as a sign that the spirits are moving you a different path. Okay? Or whenever it's about food, the food turns over, the plate falls out of their hand, the water spills. Those are signs, types and shadows. Okay, your angels are tipping things over. I feel something stirring in me when I say that. Okay, so you want to be aware of that. I want to, for those of you who are people came from my line and you do hoodoo from the Bible like I do, let me give you a couple of verses here about people. All right, because I got somebody in the pot. I ain't gonna sit there like nobody. Right now because I need to. Who is that? Somebody said I'll see you guys later. Have a nice week. Yes, certainly. So,
yeah.
Ezekiel 11:11 said, "This city shall not be your cauldron, neither shall ye be flesh in the midst thereof." All right. Here Ezekiel was counteracting, interesting, witchcraft that the Egyptians were doing against Israel. And one thing that they were boiling them in a pot. And Ezekiel, the prophet, astral projected and saw this. And so what he did was he came back in the body and got a pot and broke it as a sign to overturn the works they were doing in the astral plane. Okay. It goes on to say in Exodus 23:25, "And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee." Genesis 15:7 says that it came to, this talks about when Abraham was making a covenant with God. Something else you guys want to be aware of. What you say when you're eating. Oh my God, I love you for this food, girl. This thing was what I needed. Be careful what you're saying, okay? Because every table is an altar. I feel like preaching. Every table is an altar. It is a place where covenants are made and exchanged. If you're an enterprise, the business deals aren't done in the boardroom, they're done at the dinner table. They always say, let's go to lunch. Let's go to dinner. Okay? That's where business is done. That's where transactions are conducted. Okay? So biblically, when Abraham was making a transaction with God, he had opened up the offering and fallen asleep. And it said that, and it came to pass, when the sun went down, it was dark. Behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. Okay, so even when I pray, all right, over my food and stuff, okay, I pray that God comes down like a lamp and a furnace and move between the pieces of my plate, the portions of my meal, and burn up whatever needs to be burned up or illuminate whatever is darkened to me. Like he did with Abraham. All right. I pray like in Ezekiel 11 that people have me in their pot. I tell you, like I said, it's called pot luck because somebody got your luck in their pot. So I pray that pots and cauldrons that have me in it are overturned and are broken. That people aren't eating my flesh. Okay. And that, ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he will bless your bread and thy water. Everybody's seen the Lord bless my food, whatever the case may be. And speak to those areas. So I'm just saying, we talk about food and eating. Do you check the bottom of your plate? Most people don't. Do you check under the table skirt? What they call it? They call it table skirt.
Table mats.
What's it called?
Table mats.
Table mats, right? That kind of a thing. Do you know what's under the mat? Is there writing on the bottom of it? Is there a seal under there? Okay. Is it under the table itself? People will engrave things in the table. All right. Especially when it comes to seating arrangements. When they only want you to always sit at the same spot at the table, check that. Because there could be something they've written under the table at that point, or at that spot. You see. You know, one of the things you can do is write on people's plate, some of it. So as they're eating those words you've written on the bottom of that plate. He said, "Oh no, don't worry about this, baby. I got it." I bet you do. They don't want you to look at the bottom of that. So I'm telling you, these things have been going on for a long time. If you feel that you are under a condition that you've been tricked through your food's been fixed, okay, you need to see a spiritualist, contact me, book a consultation, all right? Let's do a diagnostic and get you clean and clear, or give you the peace of mind that there's nothing going on here, okay? It just really was just bad food, you know. Sometimes that happens, that people just can't cook. You know, they're trying to trick you, they just can't cook worth anything. But yeah, those are my last minute words. If I pray with them over this situation, some people, you know, they get weirded out, you know. Well, you throw roots. I don't know if you can pray for me. No, child. I've been praying. Look, let me just a long time. But do you remember I prayed for your people?
Yeah, go ahead, pray. Yeah.
Father, in the name of Jesus of Nazareth, I thank you for this time of gathering, for this time of fellowship with your children. I thank you for the intensive and the extensive conversation. I thank you for the revelation that people have received. Thank you for the opening of their eyes, the opening of their minds. I thank you that people now know what they did not know. I thank you that they are now being equipped to be defended. I thank you that they have had their minds enlightened to certain things. People got answers, people got solutions, and that you were glorified. And I'm very thankful for that. Father, I pray even over those people who are listening, who may have been affected over the holiday season or beyond that through their food. Father, I pray now in the name of Jesus of Nazareth that you would begin to move in their belly, to begin to disrupt, to aggravate, and to irritate anything trying to settle in their body. Father, I release fire from heaven in their bellies to begin to burn up any condition, any hexes, any vexes, any witchcraft, any bitchcraft, any tricks that have been laid in their food, any fixings of their waters and of their drink. Father, I pray that you begin to bring it to naught, because you are the spell breaker. You are the hex breaker. Even as it was in the days of Abraham, when you begin to move through his food like flames of fire. Father, I pray that you begin to move through their bellies and move through their tables. Anything that will seek to upset them or overturn them or undermine them, to dominate them, control them, destroy them, I pray that you begin to burn it up even now. I push your fire over them, over their households. Father, I speak to tables and to seats and to plates, that they now be overturned. Anything that means them ill, I pray that you begin to remove it from their life now. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Well, you guys certainly be blessed by that prayer, and we hope you guys were blessed by this video. I want to thank the prophet, the conjurer, the worker himself, for dishing out some secrets of the trade. I'm sure some of y'all about to get right into that relationship.
They're going to the convenience store right now. They're going to the grocery store right now. He said, "I got to get cinnamon." Sir, where's the nutmeg? Yeah.
Jasmine, right. And I just want you guys to be blessed and be equipped and be empowered. And we'll see you guys next time. Our next video is going to be on astral projection and OBEs and those type of transcendent experiences. Sharon Price just came on and said, I'm empath, and for nearly a year I've felt that I'm being attacked by a negative force. What can I do? We definitely addressed that in this video, Sharon. If you watch the replay, we definitely sent out some tips, hot foot powders, and well, you're talking about a negative force. Well, okay, so what can she do about a negative force? Because this isn't really coming from out of a person. This is more of a entity, I would assume she's referring to.
She needs to get a diagnostic. She needs to go see a spiritualist, and book some time with them, get a consultation, get a reading done, for them to be able to unpack this and discern the details of what is that's going on, and then they can speak to them, or if she wants to contact me, she can do so, and we can speak to you about some remedies to move that condition or that negative force out of your life.
So, matter of fact, you need to be contacting Khozmiq NeWage. He's tagged in his caption above, so you can hit that inbox and DM. Where can I contact you for spiritual consult? He has a website. I'm going to put that into the caption, but you guys can also go to his personal Facebook page, which he is tagged in. So just look for the tag, and you can give out your website as well, Khozmiq.
Yes, you guys can actually go to my website and find all my stuff there. You can contact me personally through there, through the client portal. It's drnewage.com, DoktorNewage, spelled like New Age. I'll actually leave a link in this thread so everybody can be notified of it. And actually, if you do want to get a diagnostic from me before the year is out, you want to move on that quickly because it is at a reduced price. It's like 58% off now of what the fee is for a diagnostic or for a consultation from me. So you want to get in while you can. We can get you, squared away. Hey, Sean.
All right.
Now Sean wants to come in when everybody leaving.
Yeah. Thank God for the replay button.
Right.
He can watch it in the acoustic records.
Right.
All right, you guys. Well, you heard it from the prophet himself. Definitely book this man for any work you want done, any readings you want done, whether it be relationship, health, wealth. He does it all-encompassing worker here. And thank you guys for sharing and for interacting and for viewing. We love you guys. Thank you guys. And just God bless you guys. And we hope you have a fulfilling rest of your Tuesday night.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Prophet.
No problem.